I'm going to make a differentiation here between love, the emotion, and love, your nature. So, words sometimes are overrated. They are pointers. They allude to a certain feeling, but they can never totally represent what you feel. We look at a full moon and suddenly it's poetry that's coming up. We're thinking of our loved one and how she resembles the reflected light of the moon shining down on everybody. Right? Sometimes we get immersed in nature and in the beauty of nature. And it's in that feeling of complete fullness. You feel like you are so blessed, you have it all. You have the love of your family, the love of your friends, the love of people close to you. How wonderful life is. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? Because you have this memory of love, this feeling of floating in perfection in between lives. Because love is the nature of source. It's the nature of source. You want to call it the nature of God. You're most welcome to. I'll call it the nature of source. Love, peace, bliss, equanimity, completeness, all these feelings are the same. They are the same. We give different names to it at different times in our life. When we say we get the peace, oh, I really needed that moment of Zen, I really needed that peace, right? It's different nuances of the same feeling of absolutely being complete. Like there's not one more thing in that moment that you need to complete you. There's no lack. There's no lack. When there's love, there's a feeling like you have everything. And you might have nothing. You might have nothing. But you have everything. Wealth is in the material world. Abundance is in love. When you crave that love, it does strange things to you. It ferments into envy, into jealousy, into lust, into arrogance, and into general world delusion. And I've written about it in my book. It's called The 6 Delusions of Love. I mean, it's the delusions of love. You want everyone to love you for your achievements, but they have achieved a little more than you, and now you're jealous. It's all a call for saying, look at me, what about me, what about me? That's what you're trying to say. But it bubbles up as envy and jealousy. That feeling of being loved is so basic, of being accepted and being wanted are so basic. It warps every part of our behavior. We are constantly in search for that. In spite of having it all, you can have a good life, you can have everything, but the comfort of a hug, of a well-cooked meal, of someone to just press your feet when you need it. These things are irreplaceable. These things you cannot put a price on. And it's what we long for. We have most of it, but we're constantly living in a state of lack. We live in a state of lack, thinking that we need to reach out. We don't have it, and if we dress in a certain way, we will attract the right partner. If we behave in a certain way, we'll get the right friends. if we modify the way we react to our children, we'll hold them close. Nobody, neither your children, nor your spouse, nor your friends, were ever yours to begin with. They each follow their own path. And what you feel has got nothing to do with what they do or say, because that feeling of love is totally yours. It sprouts from within. It comes up, and in that moment, the walls that you have created between you and the other person, they break down. And there is only one. The one of the source, the one that's everything. And when that feeling is there, that's when you say, oh my God, I love you. I love this. There are qualities that you admire in the other person. And as long as you're not saying, oh, I wish I had those qualities, that is love fermented into jealousy, right? But when you just break down those walls and say, I admire those qualities as if they were mine, that's when you feel that feeling of love. You recognize it as love. What most people do in relationships is, instead of finding this common ground where we're all connected, you see, when you break the walls down, there is that complete connection with everybody. Now you're trying to eat the other person up, control the other person, deciding how they will behave, how they, we shouldn't be taken for granted, how you need your space and your privacy. And in doing so, we lock ourselves into little isolated cabins. We decide how people are going to, relate to us, how many text messages we can receive, how many phone calls we can receive, who we answer, who we don't answer. And then we wonder why we're so lonely and so sad and so miserable, and why we don't have enough to do on a Friday evening. What are you putting out? What are you putting out? You're creating these artificial walls between you and the other, and yet you want something else from them. It all begins with you, because that feeling of love, trust me, it's not in anything a person does, a person says, a person feels. It is in your response to it. It is in your response. When your little baby gets mad with you and in anger hits you on your face, you don't get insulted, you don't get offended, you don't get affected. You hug him even closer, don't you? Why? Because you feel he belongs to me. You only love what belongs to you. And whatever you think doesn't is what you hate, what you're jealous of, what you're envious of, what you don't want to be associated with. We're so busy chasing the experience of love, the feeling of love, that we forget that it's always there. It is upon a feeling that permanently resides in you. It just disappears when you slip into your mind and start making these judgments about everything you see and do. I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this. If you stop saying no, the world will respond with a yes. As soon as you have complete acceptance of everything around you, there is something that just sprouts inside. There is a feeling of inner joy that is inexplicable. And that feeling of inner joy you recognize as love. Love cannot reside in a person. It cannot reside in a tune. It cannot reside in any object. Otherwise, somebody would have packaged that long ago and sold it to you for $100. Easy, right? So easy. You see, it's yours. It always was yours. You had full access to peace, to joy, and to happiness, and to love. But by your own internal resistance, by your own mental constructs of how it's supposed to be, you can ruin a bad thing. Does that mean that you have to only look for love in relationships? No. No. That's the mistake we make. Relationships are incidental in our life. We make this the entire focus. I must find a spouse. I remember one time I was giving a talk on fear, and we had this girl that came, can you talk about fear? And I was talking about fear and the fear of death and fear. And she said, I said, did I answer your question at the end of it all? And she says, you know what? The only fear I have is that my boyfriend will leave me. So sometimes I notice that, I come from a different place and not everybody's in the same place. We are looking for love in the wrong place. We're looking for it in relationships. We're looking for it in experiences. We're looking for it in things. But it was never there to start with. It was never there to start with. Have you even examined what you feel when you feel love? How would you even describe it? The only way I can describe it is a feeling of completeness, a feeling of fullness, a feeling of expansion, a feeling that in this moment, everything is good. I don't need one more thing to complete me. Is that right? Is that right? And when love is not there, then how could you talk to me that way? Weren't you supposed to do the dishes? Do I have to do all the laundry? Why can't you help me when I need it? Other people's husbands take them out for holidays. Why is my life like this? We are so full of judgment, so much sitting in our head. If we just drop that judging mind, love is there. It's there all the time. It was there all the time. It's like you were wearing this mask and this it's something funny occurred to me. I remember I went to see my grandchild, and my son-in-law put on a pair of dark glasses and a hat, and suddenly the baby looked at him like that, and he took off his glasses and he says, it was me all the time, it was me all the time. Love is like that. You see, it gets masked. You're wearing a pair of glasses. You're seeing the world through filters that you don't require. As soon as you throw away the mask and the hat and whatever else you're wearing, it's right there. It's right there, free for you to access. You don't have to go to any workshops where somebody tells you to call your boyfriend and cancel your relationship with him and say, yay, did a wonderful thing, now you'll find love. I hear of all these great gurus and masters doing these great workshops. They call them up on stage. Call your sister. Tell her how much that you're not going to take her nonsense anymore. And now you are released from all the pain. These are great gimmicks. The unfortunate thing is, people do not realize that they are the love that they seek. Let me get this. I always say love and happiness are the same thing, right? Love, happiness, peace. This is a message sent to me on my book by the Dalai Lama, right? And he says, everyone not only wants to be happy, but has a right to be happy. The question is how to achieve it. We don't know the way. We have lost our way. And the way to yourself is right here, right now, in this moment. When you meditate, why is it that you feel like a sense of like, I have no problem in the world? Because for those few minutes, the mind ceases to bother you. It's there, it talks, but you know you're meditating. So you keep it in your back pocket. And so you get out of meditation. And I love to look at people as they're arising out of meditation, because there's this clear feeling, it's like, where am I? This is the look I get. Where am I? Who am I? What's this? And that is the beauty. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to please. This is your time. As you meditate, you realize that it's all inside, it's all outside, it's everywhere, and you are part of it all. You are the love you seek. You are the happiness you seek. Just be there. Show up and embrace it. Hey everyone, thanks for visiting my channel, and if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and turn on notifications so I can continue to bring you more content just like this on knowledge, on meditation, and on insights for a happy life. Don't forget, happiness is your birthright.